you should, once they have passed away, and then you close the eyes. Many times, if you don't do that, during the ghusl, you see the eyes are fully open, and it could be for family members seeing their beloved in that state, it can shake them up a bit. So it's important that as soon as they pass away, then we close the eyes. And the next thing is we close their jaws as well. So sometimes if the body is still fresh, still soft, the rigor mortis as they call it, the stiffening of the body is not setting. So it's easier to keep the body properly. So then you can just keep the jaws, the mouth, basically the jaws closed. And if you feel that it's not going shut, then you can take a bandage or a piece of cloth and you tie it from the ear up to the head so it holds it in place. That's two. Number three, and you straighten the limbs if possible. So as much as possible. If it's become tough, you can't do it, then it should be not forcible. If you force it, the more you break. So you have to be gentle and careful. So you straighten the legs, and if possible, you can even tie the legs if they keep on opening like that. So you straighten the body, you straighten the hands, and if they close the right, then you make sure you straighten everything. So these are the few steps that we need to do as well. And also, you remove any jewelry that they have on them. So if they have any rings or anything that they are wearing, women as well, so then you remove all their jewelry. And also sometimes if they have, they will be in hospital and they have all the different devices attached to them. So don't try and pull them out just like that. Gently see if it comes out, it's fine. If not, then don't pull it out. So cut it off as near as possible to the skin, and then you leave it on. And if you come out, then there might be some bleeding and stuff like that. Nothing to be scared of. Just wash it off, put tissue or put cotton wool or tape it as well if need be. Okay? So these are common things that we see. So what's it called? We should just be careful with that as well. And if, for example, sometimes the stomach can also bloat. The stomach can also bloat after death. So if there's the fear of stomach bloating, then you can put something heavy on the stomach so it keeps it inside. These are the few steps that we can take quickly before death. We recite, we put them to the right side, we recite the Kalima, we say Shri Yasin, so be gentle with them, and then once they pass away, we close their eyes, we face them towards the Qibla, and we straighten their body, remove any jewelry, and close their eyes and things like that, inshallah. So now what we do is
saying some dentures, ask them before they come to the job, take any dentures and dentures and so forth, take them out before you close the job.
And he's also reminding them if you have dentures and stuff like that, then you can also take them off before you close the jaw. So that's like the way that jewelry and all the extra ways. So the dentures is also part of it. He's our representative with deaths all the time. So I would say that maybe sometimes the knowledge is there, but the experience is also quite important as well. Any questions so far? Or anything I've missed out? Yeah, so the other choice is that one is either facing the Qibla, or the other one is you put their feet towards the Qibla, and then the body like this, and you lift the body slightly. Because you have a hospital bed, so you lift it slightly. So what that does is after death, when cleaning the stomach or closing the eyes, closing the jaws, it becomes easier for us. These are the two options in the hadith now.
One other thing also is if it's in the hospital, you can ask the nurses to give you some kind of bags of saline, and you put them on the deceased stomach, so that way the stomach doesn't bloat, and it gets rid of any excess gases as well, and it becomes much easier then for a time of ghusl. Then the stomach is not bloated and it's not full of gas or anything like that.
Okay. So that's important as well, the body that I mentioned, so that one as well. And you have to be very, very careful with the body that I see as well. In the hadith, the Prophet says, Gusl-e-Mayyit Training. When you break the bones of the deceased, it's like you're breaking their bones when they are alive. When a person is alive and you make him home, it's hurtful. It's not jais, it's not allowed. You can't do that. So the same way, when you're in a mind, you have to be as gentle as possible and as careful as possible as well.
Treat them like alive people.
And it's very, very important to bury them as quickly as possible. Obviously, if there are legalities involved, then it's a different story. The hadith Rasulullah says, أسرعوا بالجنازة فإن تك صالحة فخير تقدمونها إليه وإن يك سوى ذلك فشر تضعونه عن رقابكم. The Rasulullah says that you should quickly do the janazah and bury the deceased, because if the deceased is pious, then a very good place is awaiting them. A very good place is awaiting them. And if it's otherwise, then you are getting rid of an evil. Getting rid of an evil for you. That's why many times we unnecessarily delay. Later, waiting for this person, waiting for that person. All these things are delayed. Unnecessary. Whoever attends funeral, alhamdulillah. If you miss it, alhamdulillah. If you're here, alhamdulillah. If you miss it, alhamdulillah. But unnecessarily, we should not delay the janazah. And there are also some paperwork involved as well. So some documents that you have to have. So first, you have to have the medical certificate of the cause of death. Yes, so that's very important, because sometimes, like from experience as well, that if we don't get the paperwork rolling and things going properly, it can delay the burial as well. So inshallah, we should know this step. So first, we need to get the medical certificate of the cause of death. So you can get it from the doctor, the local GP, or the hospital if they passed away there. So the doctor issues that. And then you have the certificate of burial, and that's from the registrar. So that's also important as well. Registrar office, you have to go and register the death as well. And they will issue the death certificate as well. Okay? So these three are very, very important documents that we need to have. And then there's also an interment form. What does it mean?
It's something different. It has something happening in England also. To have a death certificate issued as soon as possible. That becomes a bit of a problem, because they need to get hold of a senior doctor or a consultant to sign off the death certificate or agree to the death certificate. So therefore, it's important that you, when it happens, the first thing you do is push the doctor involved or the head nurse involved with the ward to get this rolling, so that they can get a hold of the right person to get issued a death certificate. Thereafter, once you have the death certificate, then it's if it's a weekday, then you can actually contact the registrars, and the registrars nowadays work on appointments. A lot of registrars are working from home as well at the moment, so therefore they will give you an appointment. But when you're actually speaking to the registrar or the reception of the registrar, you have to inform them it's a Muslim burial, and that we are wanting to do the burial within the 24-hour period. Then what they will try to do is fast track your registration with them. Now, sometimes it's not always possible to do that. They may be booked up for the day, so therefore they try to accommodate you. But if not, then you can actually go to another local authority. In our case, we can be Perth, Kinross or Angus, phone up their office and try to get that registration done with them. If it happens on the weekend, then it becomes more difficult. There are certain times you can get ways around it to get something done, but weekend is difficult, but through the week, that's how you have to do it. And once the death certificate is registered with the registrar, they will then automatically email, it's called Form 14, to the funeral directors. So whoever you have as a funeral director, they will then contact them directly and let them know. And then from there, the funeral director's responsibility is then to issue a schedule to Dundee City Council for them to let them know the burial is going to take place. and then they proceed with getting a layer opened up and having a burial process moved along. That is basically the process of doing it.
And to complete this process, mashallah, we rush a lot. Alhamdulillah, many people go here. Some people go to the hospital. Some people go to the GP. Some people go to the registrar, and some people try to get hold of Tahir, and so the grave is ready. But where we lack, once the body is ready to be buried, we delay it just for showing the face. So once you have been given a ghusl and janaza salah has been read, then there should not be any delay until the body is been buried. We should not even wait for the family members, the immediate family members. Okay, has anyone participated in Makkah and Medina? You? Yeah? Okay, in Makkah and Medina, Baqi, yesterday on Jummah, Bhai Yamin Sahab passed away from Karachi. Okay, when in Makkah, Medina, when the burial is, the body is lying in front of the Imam, as soon as the salah is finished, before you hold your dad or your uncle, your auntie, someone else have already taken it away. And there are 8, 10 of them. You need to think which one is my dad. No one waits for anything there. And it straight goes and they start burying, because 10 graves is straight already. So they take it to that. So obviously, normally in the normal practice, we do wait for family members. We make a shout as well. All family members come ahead. But this should not be the main part of it. As soon the body is ready, the car has arrived, those family members should arrive before the body, because the body should not waste for the member of the family, because his place is in the grave, not outside. Is the fish which is outside the water. He wants to go back inside. There is a life for him. And sometimes we open up to show the face in the cemetery. That's wrong, completely wrong. As soon the ghusl is done, so janaza salah is done, we should not delay. If anyone wants to see, tell them you can, but come before. Come before. We will not delay our dad and mom for you.
And if they open up to, don't go start queuing and start looking at it. If you know it's not something to be done, then you don't involve yourself in it. Many times it happens that chalo dikhate hain chehra to hum bhi dekh lete hain. They're showing it, you might well look at it. If you know it's not the time to look at it, because the more people will look at it, then you keep on delaying as well. So don't involve yourself in it. Just stay away from it.
And second thing, in our culture, because when the men pass away, we normally keep a dead body on the lady's side, and the ladies of the family come and see the body and they read the Quran. That's beautiful, a good practice. But what happened? So not the family, not extended family, the family we don't know, they all are coming and seeing the body. That man may be doing the parda, the lady might be doing the parda for life, but after death, they don't do the parda. But the hukum of parda is still alive. Hukum of parda is still alive. That's why when Maulana Abdul Mannan's uncle passed away, they strictly said that only the family member will see, others should not see the body.
The hukam in life, hukam in death. So mahram can see in life, mahram can see in death. So bichari, so many times, ladies, so men don't go to see normally, but men, they put their everyone goes and sees. This is something that we need to be careful of as well. Even the ghusl itself, the ghusl should also be given by the mahram. The ghusl should also be given by the mahram. That's why it is also in the books of fiqh, you have the discussion whether the husband can give ghusl to his wife or not. Why? Because once they die, then the marriage is finished for the husband. But if the husband dies, then the marriage finishes after the iddah period. So that's the hukam in there as well. So then some ulama say, yes, it is allowed, and some fuqaha say no. And even there is a question that should we kiss the deceased after they passed away? Because we have Allah for them. So the ulama say you are allowed, because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Aisha radiallahu anha, the Prophet kissed Uthman ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu when he passed away. And the Prophet ﷺ was crying and tears were flowing from his eyes. So you can kiss a person who is deceased. But we have to be careful in terms of crying as well. That other day, after the read the hadith, that is not from amongst us the one who cries a bit too loudly, slaps their face, beats their chest, strips their clothes, and wails like the wailing of the Jahiliyyah, or says words of the time before Islam of Jahiliyyah. Even in some communities, you have mourners who are employed and they actually come and attend the funeral and they are paid to cry and wail. Not cry, to wail. They actually paid to wail. They happen in Kenya. Kenya, you have these communities where they have people who are professional mourners. It's their job. So you employ them and they come and then they do that. So all this is not part of our Sharia, not part of Islam. So we have to be careful. The grieving process is there. We have to grieve. Many times when someone passes away and they begin to cry, we say, "Bas, don't cry, don't cry." Let them cry. Crying is good. The Prophet ﷺ shed tears. The Prophet ﷺ shed tears. Crying is good for you. But going over the limits, that's what's not allowed. And in terms of the shroud, say the shroud before we go, inshallah. So we should prepare the shroud, the kafan, before as well. So for men, there is three pieces. One, you have the outer sheet, it's called the lifafa, and then you have the qamis, the tunic, and then you have the izar, which is the lower wrap. So normally what you would do is you would put the izar first. When you're putting the kafan and you're putting it out, then you put the biggest sheet, one which is outside, first on the ground, and then over it you put the qamis and then the izar. So when you put the body on top of the kafan, you start wrapping the izar first, and then the shirt, the qamis, and then the full wrap. And for ladies, you have two extra. So you have one is called the khirqa, the chest wrap, sinaband, in order to call it, to wrap their chest, and then you also have a khimar, the scarf which covers their head. So for women we have 5, and for men we have 3 pieces. So inshallah we'll go to the ghusl room now. And the process is very simple. I'll quickly just give a brief. Very simple. The way we do a ghusl of janaba, the same way we do ghusl of mayyit. First you do wudu, and then you wash the whole body properly, and that's it. It's very simple. And one more thing, when we have to make sure we don't expose any of the satar parts while doing the ghusl, and we have to be gentle. So it's a very simple process. Just the way we do ghusl to our own bodies, the same way we do ghusl of the mayyit. So someone might be wearing speedos.
حافظ افتكار فوق.
Late, then it's better off putting them in a mortuary and stuff. You don't put them in the house because if the smell and stuff can start coming, the family members, can feel everything. So, ठीक है इंशाल्लाह. हाँ जी, इंशाल्लाह. So this is um, the deceased. Okay. So as I said before, we start off. First, what we do is when we're placing them here, we try and gently rub the stomach so that anything which is left, any dirt is left in the body, it comes out. Okay. Now you can see that we have placed a nice thick towel. Okay. So it's important to place a thick cloth stick towel. Why? Because when we are wiping or putting water and stuff, we don't want the parts to be seen or to be exposed or the shape seen aura. So it's very, very important. That's very, very key aspect of it. Okay. And whoever is taking part in the ghusl, okay, always wear gloves. Okay. And we try and to keep around 4 people. Okay. Because more than 4, then it becomes difficult to move around. So you have 4 people, and we should have one who's the head. Okay, because you don't want everyone to be saying do this, do that, and it becomes confusing. So one person kind of takes the lead, and they lead the ghusl process. So you rub the stomach, and then the blood comes up from there. You can also tilt the body a bit, and then you can wear thick rubber gloves, and then with the cloth you can clean their private areas to make sure everything is gone. Okay, and then you start with their the normal wudu that we do. Okay, and then if their mouth is closed, then you just say some cotton wool, you just wipe it around it. Okay, but we try and make sure you don't put water in their mouth. Okay, we don't do that. Okay, and you just wipe it, and you wipe their nose. Once you've done that, you put cotton wool in there, so it's nice and covered. And even in the ears as well, once you've cleaned it, then you put cotton wool there, so the water does not go inside. And then you wash their face, you do wudu for them basically. After you've done wudu, and then you start the ghusl process. So the ghusl process, you start from the head. So you wash the hair properly, okay, so you wash the face properly, and then you turn towards the body, towards the right side and the left side. Now, when we are washing the right side of the body, then what you can do is you can tilt the body slightly to the left. So the right side is up, and then you can wash the under part as well. Okay, so you go all the way, and then the same with the left. So it's very simple, very easy. And if you have 4 people, you can designate the task. Some people can do the head, others can do the feet and all of that. And it's all. जी आता भाई इतना मुश्किल तो नहीं है ना, आसान काम है. और फिर जी चलिए शुरू में बता दिए.
Tilt करना, when you tilt the body as well.
Yeah.
So first thing you massage the stomach.
Yeah.
आप करके बता दें, करके बता दें.
He can practically show.
So you tilt 2 or 3 people, hold the person and bring him up in sitting position. In a sitting position.
And then see if there's anything comes out or no, whatever it is. You just open the little bit legs, put your hand in, right up there, and then there. You just have to wash, just like you're washing yourself.
Stinja.
See, stinja. When you do the stinja, you know right away, now it's clean. You feel in here as well the same thing. You just pour the water, keep pouring the water.
And God was pouring water over the towel and the water
Going through. Or sometimes you can,
Lift
if you
the
go a helper,
Yeah.
you can,
Someone like this.
yeah. And then you look down, everything is clear, clean water, then your stinja is done. Because you have to do the proper stinja, otherwise everything will be lobby of park, napak.
And if there's any blood or anything like that and it's not stopping, then you just take bandage and tape and you just
Yeah.
put.
Sometimes you think the plaster is too much, or there is a big hole or something. Leave it on, because it's more problem. Sometimes we take it off, and blood never stops. And one day, I have to put 2 or 3 times. I have to put the whole towel underneath, because blood was not stopping. And see the coffin, the white sheet should be a proper white, not any mark or anything on it. So
Why is the
that's
blood coming out if somebody's maybe been in hospital or something? And
Yeah.
So either there's a plaster bandage or
Sometimes-
sometimes they have the
The veins
drips and
see the
stuff
blood
like that.
vessels.
Yeah.
When something they put the plaster on the blood vessel, and you take it off, all the blood will come.
They have drips.
And when you put the hot water on it, it makes more
So
blood coming out. Blood is not.
One other important thing is at the time, if it's in hospital and they have some drips on, then once the person is deceased, then get the nurses to come in and take out all the drips and everything else quite quickly, because it's much easier to do it then and there when the body is still warm. When it gets colder, then it becomes a lot more difficult to do.
And even the water as well, we have to make sure it's warm, not too hot and not too cold. Just the way we would, or we enjoy maybe hot showers, some of us, or maybe some enjoy cold showers. But for the mayyit, we have to make sure it's warm water, not too hot, not too cold. Okay, and then we have camphor as well. Okay, kafur, camphor. Then in the last wash, we can pour maybe in a bucket. You can put the camphor in it, and camphor is a very strong smell. So sometimes the body can have a bit of a smell in it. So when you pour the camphor over it, it masks the body odor, body smell, and makes it smell nice as well. And then you also apply camphor on the head, on the area of sajda as well.
Normally we put
Also
the
put that.
kafur in the box. Sometimes some people does in the water, but when you do it in the water, they're washed away.
Yeah.
But when you put it in the coffin, that stays there and gets more smell.
Is it perfume? Camphor perfume?
It's like,
No, it's
it's like menthol,
menthol
smells.
Yeah.
There's some box.
Powder or
You know how you get these
Yeah,
moss
this is
bars?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that.
The mothballs used to get
You just have to
crumbles.
now.
Yeah. So this is camphor.
This is coffee.
Yeah.
See,
So
smell.
that's how it is. So it's got a very distinct smell. Actually smell, but it's actually. So they break this up and they put it in the coffee or even in the water. And then,
Uncle Atta, just tell them sometimes, because some people come, when they see a mannequin is fine, but sometimes the body jerks as well. Sometimes when you're washing, bro, I saw it one time when you did the janazah and the wuzu khana when before this was built, and the body jerked, bro. I freaked out.
No, the last time somebody's we were giving a ghusl to somebody, and well, the body was little bit bent up the way, and we were washing. His son was here, he was helping with us, and his son was too much breathing. Uncle Shafkat says the body is breathing. I can hear the breathing. No, it's the body. Because he was so fat, and he did something, he left the heavy or something, and by the time, he started, Uncle Shafkat said, he's breathing.
and also, you'll see many weird and wonderful things during the ghusl. If the good things that you can share, then it's good thing and fine. If you see anything wrong, anything bad happening here, then we should put it under the lid and not go and tell people, oh,
No.
this ye kharabiyan hui. None of that. We should not expose anything.
मस्जिद का जो है ना जिस्म कभी
English.
क्या कहते हैं
Confidential.
या confidential अगर मैंने कुछ चीज़ देखी है ना ऐसी, मुझे नहीं चाहिए कि मैं किसी को बोलूँ कि भाई उसकी नीचे हजामत नहीं हुई थी, उसकी बगल में हजामत नहीं हुई थी, या ये था वो था। ये चीज़ें जो है ना बड़ा सख्त गुनाह है
English man.
किसी को. If you tell somebody about the body, it's more sense, you know.
Malakum sir, should we then, if say for example his armpits are not, should we do anything or should we just?
No, you don't need to do anything.
This is a question a lot of people ask.
No, we leave it.
Misconception that we should.
Yeah, we don't clip the nails. We don't.
One
clip
day
the
We don't
somebody-
cut the nails, we don't do anything, we don't trim the mustache.
One day
nothing.
somebody brought the machine. I says to him, please. जब इंसान जो है ना होता है, बीमार होता है, हॉस्पिटल में होता है, तो वो कैसे अपने आप से कर सकता है? कुछ नहीं कर सकता. तो चलो महीना हो गया, 2 महीने हो गए, वो हॉस्पिटल में था, तो उसके तो बाल बड़े ही होने थे. तो इस चीज़ में तो कोई हदक नहीं है.
So the person is
So he's saying basically that sometimes someone in a hospital, they've been there for maybe 2 months or something. No one is there to cut it, so you don't have to bring any trim or anything. You don't do anything. You don't cut off anything. Even sometimes, people, think they're weird and start, trimming their mustache to make them look nice and all of that. None of that.
Purely
You ghusl them, and then you just comb their hair and make them look nice and presentable, and then that's it.
कफन का भी यही करना. Yeah. So after once गुस्ल के बाद फिर what's next step?
नेक्स्ट स्टेप उसको सारा ड्राई करना है. ड्राई करके उस टेबल पे हम जो है ना कफन बिछाते हैं. तो कफन नहीं कटे नहीं. पहले पता हो रहा है ना, मेरे ज़हन की नहीं रहा, वरना काट.
Okay, so then we'll make this table right here, and then there.
Yeah, move the bring the table.
just show how to lift the body because some people struggle with that.
It's
Just hold that, you hold that.
Yeah, I'm holding.
After you hold the hand. You hold it.
There is 3 sheets, 2 big ones, and one is slightly smaller one. That's what we call
Kameez.
kameez. And then we put some underneath. Take the head out and underneath, and then put the whole on top of it. And then another 2 sheets, just wrap them.
So basically, at the bottom, we put off the big sheet, which will wrap all of it. So we don't wrap it, so we put the big sheet
So
right.
give me 2 more. So this will be the biggest sheet example.
The example, that will be the biggest sheet right at the bottom. Okay. And then you have
Then this is the kameez.
Yeah, so you have the kameez which goes like that, okay, wraps, and then you have one more sheet, okay, which is this is the kameez, okay, this is the lungi, the bottom bit. So the kameez, normally what you would do is you would have like a cup at the top here, okay, and then you just leave it there. So when the body comes, you put that on first, and then you cover that, then at the bottom, all of it, right?
When do you take off the wet towel? Like
Yeah. So what you do is once you've done the ghusl, you grab other towels and you dry.
Take the wet
Yeah,
towel
but,
away.
yeah, but when you're putting this towel away, obviously you put another towel, cover it, and then you slide it.
Always,
Yeah,
always,
yeah,
always.
yeah,
never
yeah,
exposed.
At every moment, we have to make sure the aura is properly covered.
So when the body comes from the hospital, it's covered from the
Yeah. So basically, so there'll be hospital gown, or if they're at home, they'll be in their normal clothes. So if you can remove their clothes normally, then fine. Otherwise, you just cut it off. It's normally easier to just cut it off. So carefully, we cut
Better to cut it off.
easier. The other thing also is even if it's at home or in hospital as well, it's better. Beds are sometimes on a slope, or it's better to after deceased. Once you've done things, I tied their face and closed the eyes and tied the feet together as well. Then to put the body straight, so not to leave it at an angle because if you leave
stays like this.
that, then the body stays like this once it gets cold. So, but yeah, once the body's actually you've done everything else, it's still warm. You actually just make it go flat. Yeah, and that way it's much easier. Then you don't have to. The body's not on an angle, and because it'll stiffen up, so it'll be like this, and then you can't move it once you're doing ghusl. And it's difficult then, obviously, when you have to put it in the box as well.
See, the time to keep the aura covered the hardest is when you shift in the body from here to there.
Yeah.
So it's really important that the people are there, are holding the body so it doesn't, they've got the whole body covered, and that they're covering, lifting the whole body together.
Sometimes when it's a heavy body, we use the stretcher here.
So what they do is just open it and you put one side here, one side there, and just lift it here and you open it back, so it's fine. Or sometimes you have the straps as well. You can put the straps and then just bring it here. So there's all different ways of bringing the body here.
That's why my uncle Atta's here anyway, so he's leading. And so you'll never go wrong, inshallah.
But
Can I ask one other question?
one day we all
One day we have to take one day.
Yeah.
One day you have
Can I ask a question? The people, 4 people who are actually doing the ghusl, they then have to go home and shower.
Yeah.
And take off their clothes
And that's mustahab. It's mustahab.
Yeah.
And main reason is, there's 2 reasons that fuqaha write. One is because when you've given ghusl to the deceased, or drops of napaki or impurities could have come on your clothes, so as a precaution on your body to go and have a shower. But also sometimes it gives a calming effect as well. That you've gone, it's your beloved who is there. You've given them ghusl, so you're in a very stressful mode. So you go and have a shower, that also calms you down. But you don't, if you some people insist that you must do it. So you should not insist. If someone wants to do it, let them do it. If they don't want to do it, then that's fine as well.
Man, the ones that are performing the ghusl have to be in a state of wudu, yeah? Or is that
no.
The one other thing is that I think you need to, when you cut a coffin, we need to be there to show us how to cut a coffin, because a lot of us, I don't know how to do it. How much you need to cut for a male or a female, what sizes you need and what length you need and everything else. So these are the things.
Cut 8 feet.
8 by 5.
8 by 5. Okay.
8 by 5. 2 sheets. Cut them 8 by 5. And the third one, which is about 7 feet, which is
The shirt.
kameez.
Kameez.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
So normal they say 8 by 5 and then 5 by 4 and 7 by 5. So it's similar.
And when you put the body in the coffin, so coffin maybe यहीं that.
Yeah.
Coffin is next to it.
Yeah.
Next to.
Yeah.
So when you put in the coffin, same procedure, but try to tilt the body towards the right, towards the qibla, which is that this is something which is not common in many our Scotland, wherever I've been, it's not common. So they put it straight, but we should try to put a bit of main thing is that if the face is towards the right, that's the most important thing, because when the body is being buried in the grave, the face should was towards the qibla. If the face is not towards the qibla, if we have to put a whole body, and Mona was saying that whole body should be facing towards the qibla, tilting towards the qibla. So what we can do, obviously, either we can keep some cloth, thick cloths, and support the body gently, so they are comfortable as well, and same time they are tilting the body towards the right.
Or you can even buy those pillows as well. So you get the cushion pillows, you can put that in as well. Like just a few weeks ago, when I was in Leicester, so during Janaza, body was straight, but before they put the body into the grave, okay, the Molana, they opened it, and then they took 2-3 pillows and they tilted the body and they put the pillows there. So they made sure that the body is tilting towards the right.
Main thing is because of our life, we have faced towards the qibla in our salah, in everything. So why, once we die, we should be facing towards the qibla. For that reason, we are doing right.
The whole body is the head.
Whole body, but most important, head. If you can't do the whole body, at least the head.
Only head. That's it.
But because if the head was not turned when the person has passed away, So now you can't turn the head. If you try to turn the head, it will break the neck. So that is why we tilt the whole body.
Is there anything specific to recite when washing the body? Or
During the ghusl process itself, you should try not recite anything. Okay, because like the way we would be in a ghusl in our bathrooms, we don't recite anything. The same way while doing ghusl, we don't recite it. But if people are outside, they are reciting in other rooms, at home, everywhere, they can recite. Now, in terms of before the ghusl, for example, the body is unclean. Okay, so can you recite there or no? Okay, some ulama say you can recite, and some say it's better not to because the body is not in a clean state. Next to the body, I'm saying. If you a bit further away in another room and stuff like that, it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Yes, and also another point about recital that when we are taking the body to the grave, normally we say kalima shahadat, ashhadu an la. Okay, we should not be saying that loudly. Any adhkar have to be done softly. ठीक है ना? So that's softly. Everyone should be reading softly. Okay, so that's another point as well. Inshallah.
Also, the case of the ruling of putting itar or perfume inside the coffin. You can't put it on the body, but can you line the inside of the coffin with itar?
We put on the body as well.
You can put on the body,
Yeah.
but no on the coffin, no on the cloth,
Or
no mark on the cloth. You can put it on the, rub it on the body.
even musk. Books of fiqh also mention musk. If you have musk, then you can put musk on the body as well because it's a nice smell. And musk is on the fragrance of Jannah as well.
And also when the it's a bit of a different question, but when the soul departs the body, is the soul present while she given ghusl? Can the soul
No,
see?
it will go all the way to
So
heaven,
it goes, okay.
and it will come back as soon as we bury them.
That's true. Okay.
And then the question begins, and that is why it is masnoon. It is recommended. So we should stand there after the burial and read as much as we can. So in olden days, the people used to read one Quran. They don't have the concept of the Khatma Quran after 1 day or 2 days, 3 days, and 5 days, because at that time he's reckoning. His hisab is began. Is that time? That moment is important time. So they used to read the whole Quran at that moment, there and then. And they used to go, because I said in one hadith once when the burial, who came for burial, and they take the 40 steps away, Munkar Nakir arrives. So that is why when the Maulana Akhtar passed away last month in Glasgow, so that Glasgow have witnessed that thing first time in their history. So because mashallah, he produced over 200, 300 hufas in the last 20, 30 years. So they were 25 or 30 kids, 30 young ones. So Maulana Aslam Saab's son said, this is how many hufas are here? He said there were more than 30. So they all take one para. In 25 minutes, the whole Quran was completed. 25 minutes, whole Quran was completed.
And we see the same with the father of Mufti Shahbaz in Edinburgh when he went for the janaza. So after the janaza was done, all the family members, they just sat there and they all read the whole Quran before they left.
So you're saying that people should stay after, so people rush after the thing does finish, people rush. That, his hisab starts quickly, yeah? But so you're saying that we should stay.
In the hadith it comes as well, that once you put the body in the ground, you should make dua that, Ya Allah, keep him sabit qadamaini, I think that's the wording. That, Ya Allah, keep his feet firm during the questioning. So these are the du'as that we should make.
Yeah, we should spend some time, because normally why we rush is not because of the, I think because of the duties and responsibilities we have to work, but mainly the family members, they should sacrifice that day, and they should stand next to the grave, and they're the mom and dad, and try to finish the Quran if you can. If you can't, Maulana Mannan said he was alone, so he managed to finish Surah Baqarah while standing there until then. And second thing, when we are waiting, we should read Yasin. We all should, and send the sawab to the whole graveyard.
We all have Yasin on our phones as well. Instead of taking the score, check out Surah Yasin.
Just Malan, one request that I think that generally when you have is that when somebody passes away, there's Uncle Atta, there's a few brothers, and that's it. But now that you know, get in the habit. Because the last thing that you want to do is the first one that you do is for your father. or somebody who's a close one to you, and then you're struggling.
In fact, those who should give ghusl, the family members
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the priority to give ghusl. So they should be the ones there giving ghusl. Okay, but instead ours is opposite. The Moana does the ghusl and the family members do the janaza namaz. Huh? And the family members ask for to lead the janaza namaz. But it shouldn't be the case. It's the other way around. Family members should be doing the ghusl and the imam has the right and they should be the ones doing the janaza salah.
And because he mentioned that point, Marna, it's a very important point. You know, normally we ask close family members, maybe they're Hafiz or Alim, but it should be, because main thing is that we are seeking forgiveness for the deceased. That is the matter. That all matters. So, and who should be leading that Janazah Salah? It is the right of the Masjidul Hayy. Masjidul Hayy means whichever area. It's not Dundee. Maybe the person passed away in Africa, somewhere, or in India or Pakistan. So whichever place he passed away and whichever Janazah Gah he is and whichever masjid he is, the Imam has a right over him. And we should not take the right away to fulfill our wish. Unless the Imam said, okay, if he knew it, you know, if he can give it to anyone, but we don't take it from him. That's a very fine point. And that's why wherever we go, even if I'm a Maulana, I should not say that I will lead Janazah Salah. Completely wrong. Completely wrong. I should say you should do it. You are the Imam of the locality, you do it.
And I've seen many of our Ustad or Mashayikh, they come quietly, Janazah Salah, they leave behind and they disappear.
यहाँ पे तो कई लोग हैं जिनको दुआ नहीं आती अल्लाह मग़फ़िर लख़य्यिना व मय्यितना व शाहिदिना
And we could also
उनको
learn.
बतानी पड़ती हैं 4 तकबीरें हैं सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा व जल्ला सनाउ का नहीं पता फिर
So this, alhamdulillah, that's why we gather here today to take a lesson. And second thing, it is been said that we should participate in ghusl. Why? Because it's remind our own moment. One day we all will be lying here. Definitely, there is no doubt. So the more we do, the awake we will be. Otherwise, today we are sleeping. We are our bodies are alive, but our souls are dead. And that is why someone said that a person went and he was reading Fatiha on the grave. So a sheikh was sitting there and he started smiling. Student said, Hazrat, what happened? Why are you smiling? He said, our dad is reading on a live. Our dad is reading on a live. What it means, the person who is reading the Quran, he was dead, his soul was dead. And the one who has been buried, he was alive. He was a proper, firm believer. So the Sheikh has seen a mukashafa, and he said, a dead is reading on a live. And you know, these things, or those people who are very God-fearing, they normally see things which we can't see. It was famous about Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori rahmatullah alayh. Famous about him, 2 things. One, he was able to see the punishment of graves, and second, he was able to tell which food is halal and which food is haram. Someone asked him, Hazrat, how did you manage? How did you have this ability to see the adab of qabr is taking place or not, and which is halal and which is haram? Because many people used to test him. They used to bring 7 apples, 3 with a halal income, 4 with a haram income, and kept in front of him and marked them and keep eye on them which are halal ones. He used to pick halal ones. Many people tested him, and he said, if you stay with me for 40 days, eat what I give to you to eat, and stay with me the way I want you to stay with me, do the askar with me, you will be able to see what I see. Maulana Ahmad Ali Lahori rahmatullah alayh. If you go Lahore, you can still visit his grave. Or his grandson are still alive. It's not too far. May Allah prepare us for this day. And then another hadith says, Aksiru ziyarata quburikum, that you should go to Maqbara a lot. Because that's our final place, bedroom. We go to our bedroom every single day. Inshallah. Anything else?
Just briefly mention what to read when you go to the Pakistan as well.
When we in the normal visits, just from Surah Fatiha Alif Lam Mim to Muflihun and Aman Rasulu to the end. That's the normal. And if you want to read Quran, if you want to read Qul Allahu 12. Some mashayikh says you should read 12 times Qul Allahu Ahad and Yasin and any part of the Quran. It's fine.
And better to give the reward for that person deceased or to give it to everybody?
Yeah, this is a good question. Yesterday in Umrah, someone asked us when we were finishing our Umrah, he said, shall I give my sawab of Umrah to my specific family member or to many? So I said to them, it's just exactly the same if you want to give a gift, a specific gift to someone or general gift to all of them. It's your choice. If you want to give a general gift, you can give a general gift to all of them. You can bring a tray until everyone can take it. If you want to dedicate some gift to someone, you can. So it's just the same like that. In the life, the way you do it, it's the same like after death as well.
So you said about getting involved, right? With like taking part in ghusl. So I know that you said that mostly it's family members that do it. So how would you go about getting involved in the ghusls and stuff?
But many times we always, many times, as Uncle was saying, that Faisal was saying that many family members come across here first time. They haven't done ever before, so they don't know, so they don't want to participate. They want to stand here. They want to visualize it, but they don't want to participate.
I was once here with an Adam, and because obviously he was close to his father, he knew how to do it. And obviously the right was for him to do it as opposed to me. But because he had done it in his heart, he's sitting here, he just dropped. So he couldn't do it. So that's where there are some places, sometimes the person doesn't have any loved ones. So then that's where they have, I think, this little WhatsApp group, yes?
Yeah.
So if there is, then inshallah.
Usually in Dundee, our janazas take place after Zuhur. So if someone's passed away, ghusl around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, that's the usual time. So even if you know someone's passed away and you want to participate in the ghusl, you can be here around 10, 11 o'clock, inshallah. I think that's the easiest.
There is a ghusl group. Ata's son Zia, he's got that group, and they're just volunteers who he's got a crowd of people who at any time that he needs people to come and help, he puts up any volunteers who want to come and help, they can come and help.
So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prepare us for this day, inshallah. And when our final moment comes, we go with Iman and Islam. And the angels are giving us ghusl before the world have given us ghusl, inshallah.